ready tonight. I'm I'm really confident that they can hear us tonight. We had some issues last night. Yeah, we did. It was it was a struggle. But we're good, right, Adam? Okay, good. Guys, welcome back to Garage Bands Live tonight. I am honored to have on the couch tonight my uncle Kevin Smith.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show, dude. Did you ever think you would be on a internet show, like on the virtual stage, playing music at your nephew-in-law's house,
No, no.
or anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere. It was a hobby, so for me to be doing something like this is really cool.
So, so this is Uncle Kevy, right? Um, Kevin, one of the I've known you played music for a long time. One of the cool, interesting facts about Uncle Kevin is that every year at Christmas, we will be guaranteed a CD from Uncle Kevy signed with a whole, what usually it's like
Yeah,
10,
five to 5 to 10 new songs.
yeah. So he's always writing these really cool, I like to call them old time, no
Stories,
offense. Yeah,
adventures.
yeah.
Uh,
What inspires you to write the music that you write?
it's I never thought that I would, because I didn't like writing in school. None of that stuff. It didn't come till later. Started writing poems, playing the guitar, and just I don't know, listening to. I like Chris Christopherson, John Prine, Willie Nelson. And I really watched them because I liked the writer uh, about them. A lot of songs we hear and have no clue who wrote them, and it just, I don't know, it fascinated me. And those stories will come middle of the night, middle of the day, it doesn't matter. Some of them take years to finish. Some of them are just ideas. Um,
What was the longest song that you took to write?
uh, Probably the first song I ever wrote. It was just uh, it was almost like I thought I was going to write a book. It just felt like that. Kept changing stuff, didn't like it. That line didn't go with that line. And then I'm thinking, well, if it's a song, it should rhyme, maybe. Not necessarily, but
Right.
um, I'm a Bob Dylan fan, and as we know, a lot of his songs don't rhyme at all.
Right.
They're just he's just telling you whatever's on his mind,
Right.
um, and that's kind of what I do. Uh, Sometimes I can't write fast enough. One page right after another, and it may turn into 5 songs, or it may only be one song. But
So you model your songs around telling a story.
yeah, that seems like not that I set out to do that, but it seems like what comes easiest for me. Um, Telling a story, some of it may be true, some of it may be made up, all of it may be made up. It may be somebody else's story.
Oh. So
So
it's not like a sometimes it's not like a personal thing that happened to you, but maybe something that
no.
maybe happened to somebody else, but you can write a story about it.
Yeah, and I've written stuff that came from watching something on the news, whether it was a tragedy or something good that happened. Either way, it just, if it flows on paper for me, I'll write it down. And if
Did you ever write a song about 9/11?
I don't think I ever did. Um, and I guess it wouldn't be too hard, I guess. Um, but I don't know which direction I would go, you know, sad or patriotic or um, something to do with being glad that I'm an American, or it could go in the direction of military or planes, or um, I've just never written much down about it.
Well,
Uh,
today's September 11th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Lest we never forget.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, all those innocent lives lost on this day so many years ago. It's hard to think about sometimes.
Yeah. And that's the big picture about today is maybe there's too much, for me to pick out an idea to write about today.
Maybe it'll
Um,
come.
it may. It hasn't yet,
It
but
all comes at the
it's
right time.
anything's possible.
Yeah.
But
So you said you're a Bob Dylan fan. What's your favorite Bob Dylan song?
oh wow, now I'm drawing a blank. I like. I really like Bob Dylan's early stuff when he was real young, strumming the guitar and just making up songs. Uh, hey, Mr. Tambourine Man.
There you go.
That's. But there's a lot of, if you listen to him long enough, and uh, there's so many neat stories that you don't get an explanation about it from him.
Mm-hmm.
You get to form your own thoughts about that song, which is kind of, I guess that's the fun of some of it that I write. I don't explain everything in the song, um, because I like to, when I listen to Bob Dylan or John Prine, or, uh, I like there to be something that I can imagine on my own that's
Yeah.
that's not explained in that song.
Yeah.
But
So it's safe to say we're gonna slow things down a bit tonight, and this is gonna be a nice, relaxing. I would call it a musical story time. I think Uncle Kevy's songs are
well,
really cool, and he's just got this like chillax vibe about him. And I think that's gonna translate into the music that you hear tonight. Do so. You don't? Do you play out often? Do you play any?
not a lot. A lot of open mics, and I've opened for quite a few different people uh, that wanted my type of music added to their show.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the virus has slowed a lot of that down,
Sure has.
which um, it hasn't affected me like it has a lot of other musicians because I don't do it for a living.
Right.
I know there's some guys out there struggling that uh, that's how they pay their bills is playing music. Even the big stars, the big names that we know, have been shut down, um,
Yeah. In some
and
ways, worse than
yeah,
the smaller performers.
yeah, and we look at them as well. They've got plenty of money, big houses, all kinds of stuff, but uh, they've got incomes and they have to eat too,
And
and
larger
and
crews.
and larger crews to pay to put those shows on and stuff. So a lot of people been affected, from top to bottom.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're trying to fix here, right? We're trying to build a platform on GarageBand's Live to where we can gather a collective audience of people who love music, right? If you're watching this, you probably love music, and you may love a certain type, or you may love all music, and that's what we love here at GarageBand's Live. All music is special to us because music speaks to you, right? It speaks to all of us in different ways, but it definitely speaks to us. If you're depressed, right? Or maybe you just broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you want to hear a sad song, right? If it's Friday night and you want to go out and party and have a good time, you're gonna put on some music and help you get hyped up. So that's what we're trying to do here on the platform, and it's gonna take all of you guys' help to make this thing grow into something huge, right? So if you can tonight, please hit that follow button on twitch.tv/garagebandslive, because eventually we won't be multi-streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. It'll be primarily on Twitch. And as always, we will be including some tip information on the bottom of the screen and in the chat. You have Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna put Kevin's Facebook socials in the chat as well, and your, what is that platform?
Uh, my songs play on Django.com.
Django.
K Smith.
that link will also be in the chat. So all you have to do is ask any of our mods where you can listen to Kevin's music or follow his socials, and we'll be putting some commands in the chat, mostly the Twitch chat, right? Yeah, Twitch chat. So if you want to get really interactive with this, you should be in the Twitch chat, because that is the iPad that Kevin will be reading while he's up on the stage. I don't think you're taking requests tonight, but they'll be able to talk to you,
Sure.
tell you how badass that hat looks.
Well, this is my riding hat,
Oh,
but I like to bring it along when I play and sing. So,
okay. It's like the good luck charm.
and as long as my glasses are strong enough, I'll be able to see that iPad and maybe interact with
What
people.
if you need any help? Let me know.
All right,
Okay.
I'll do that.
We'll make sure to call out the good ones. Okay.
Gotcha.
We'll completely disregard the bad ones. We don't have to worry about that.
Awesome.
So guys, I hope you're ready for some really awesome music by Uncle Kevy. I'm so glad he decided to join us tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Put it on your big screen. Turn the volume up. Don't forget, we're gonna do a little bit of a segment here to show you guys what it takes to put on these types of shows in the garage, and we'll be right back with Kevin Smith. Before the show starts, I thought it'd be cool to give you like a behind the scenes look at how all this is put together. So we'll start right here at kind of my table. This is where I sit. So when I'm here, I stream the actual stream up to this TV, so everybody can see what's going on when we're on the couch and we're doing that little interview scene that you just saw. We can stream that right up there, and I can see all the comments, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. And on these monitors, this is where I can see the preview of all the cameras that are over on the stage. And I record everything direct in on my Ninja V. So we're recording a ProRes, high quality version of the entire show before it gets streamed out. And this is the cool thing right here. This is my ATEM switcher. This is how we're able to switch between all the different camera angles that we have set up on the other side. And usually that's done by Adam, who sits here. Now Adam, wave hi, don't be rude. So Adam is making sure that the output of the stream is going really well. Making sure we don't have any frame drops, answering the chat. He has control of the camera switcher on this software version of the hardware switcher. This is all a little bit techy, but basically we get to control everything from the stream right here so that we don't have to go over there, which is the safest way for us to be able to do these shows, kind of keep our distance, based on all these local guidelines, coronavirus. So all this stuff comes through the wall right here, okay? Now I'm gonna take you to the other side and show you where that goes. So come on, follow me. We go this way. So over here on the stage, this is where we have all the stuff set up, right? So, and it is a garage. That's why we called it Garage Bands Live. It's just my garage. So we've got lights up above. We've got cameras, one. We've got two up high today. This one's a little different. And then we've got camera 3 right here. Okay, and then of course, all the sound has to come from somewhere. So this is where we set up all the audio so the band can play. We've got our backdrop and our lights and all that. It's really a simple setup. But I think the result is, well, you tell me. I want you to let us know in the chat tonight what you think of Garage Bands Live and our performing band. And these shows don't just happen without you. It takes your participation to help make these shows super, super successful. And don't forget, when the performers are playing, they'll be looking at an iPad that I've attached to their stand, so when you're chatting, they can talk to you and they can see what you're trying to say. Also, when we have bands play live, we do provide some sort of tip jar or donation links. You can use Super Chat or any of the stuff that you see up on the screen. We'll always let you know if there's a way to donate to the cause, because this is the only way that any of our bands have to make any kind of money right now. So if you feel charitable enough please pay attention to the tip jar. Okay, and with that, I really appreciate you guys joining the show tonight. I hope you have the best time ever. Put this on your television, crank it up, and enjoy the show.
I wrote called 80 Proof. Now I wrecked my old truck trying to find you, and I walked 20 miles in the rain. What I found wasn't you when I stopped looking. This old guitar and a shot of 80 proof. Now I sit here at this bar thinking about you. That big mirror on the wall doesn't lie. Double shot made in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Yes, I know it won't bring you back to me. Now I wrecked my old truck trying to find you, and I walked 20 miles in the rain. What I found wasn't you when I stopped looking. This old guitar and a shot of 80 proof. I'd rather drink this whiskey all day long. It won't help me missing you, and it never stops the pain of the days and nights that I have been without you. Give me that guitar and a shot of 80 proof. Now I wrecked my old truck trying to find you, and I walked 20 miles in the rain. What I found wasn't you when I stopped looking. This old guitar and a shot of 80 proof. This old guitar and a shot of 80 proof. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Kevin Smith. I want to thank Garage Bands Live for having me. We're going to do some, I go through a decent little list of songs I've written over the years. Some of them go back 25 years. Long as I can remember the words to them, I got me a nice little list to kind of remind me of what I've written over the years. But hopefully you stay with us, and I'll be able to check out some of you guys here on this iPad in front of me, as long as my eyesight allows me. But we're going to tell some stories. Like I said, I've been writing probably 25 years now at least. Just some good storytelling. Some of it's real, some of it's made up, some of it's personal. I'll let you form your own pictures in your mind about what these songs are. I usually don't explain too much of them, but about the song, but leave a little bit of mystery there in some of them for you to think on your own. This next song, I kind of wrote it. You know, I was young and did a little partying when I was in high school, and some of that stuff comes up once in a while when I'm writing. So I'm gonna do this next song. It's called Mary Jane Growing. We got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. We got moonshine stashed out in the barn. Gonna call up all my friends, invite them all right in, 'cause we got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. Now my neighbors always sneaking, always peeking through their drapes and through my wooden fence. I've invited them, but only get rejection. They must think we've all got some kind of infection. We got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. We got moonshine stashed out in the barn. Gonna call up all my friends, invite them all right in, 'cause we got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. Now the preacher, he stopped by on Friday morning just to see if I could make it to the church. Well, when Sunday rolled around, the preacher no place to be found. Think he caught himself some kind of small infection. We got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. We got moonshine stashed out in the barn. Gonna call up all my friends, invite them all right in, 'cause we got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. 'Cause we got Mary Jane growing in the front yard. That was a fun little song I wrote a couple of years ago. We'll just keep moving right through here. I'm not sure I can read too much of what's going on, but I thank everybody for watching and hanging in there. Sit back and relax, and we'll get through some of these songs. Some of them you may like, and some of them you may not, but hopefully you find something you like in there. This is one I wrote a couple years ago called White Mustang. Rain came down on a Saturday night. Car pulled up and gave me a ride to San Diego in the middle of the night. Her lipstick was red and her Mustang was mighty white. 289 with a 4 on the floor, rag top down, couldn't ask for more. She was singing. He shook me all night long. Her lipstick was red, her Mustang was mighty white. 100-mile-an-hour across the desert floor. She reached around and pushed down the lock on my door. She kept singing that AC/DC song. Her lipstick was red, her Mustang was mighty white. Pulled off the road before morning light. The moon was full, the stars were bright. She said my motor's hot with a wink of her eye. Her lipstick was red, her Mustang was mighty white. Didn't ask her name, she didn't ask mine. No conversation, and that was fine. Just a slight glow from them old dash lights. Her lipstick was red, her Mustang was mighty white. 289 with a 4 on the floor. Rag top down, couldn't ask for more. She was singing, it shook me all night long. Her high heels were red, her Mustang was mighty white. 100-mile-an-hour across the desert floor. She reached around and pushed down the lock on my door. She kept singing, it shook me all night long. Her lipstick was red, her Mustang was mighty white. Her lipstick was red, her Mustang was mighty white. Thanks, guys. We'll just keep going here. I'll pick something else out. I told those guys earlier, you know, it's hard to tell how a song comes about. You know, you can wake up in the middle of the night and need to write a story down or something, but sometimes you can write one in 20 minutes and the next one takes 5 years to finish. But I've got a pretty good list of some that I do quite often, and we'll just keep rolling through some of them, and I might even add something in there that you guys recognize here in a minute. I'm going to do one I wrote last year. It's called All About Rock and Roll. We grew up, mom and dad had a big console record player and a good stack of records, and there was no internet, and so we listened to records quite a bit in the radio, and some of that was inspiration for this song. This is called All About Rock and Roll. Daddy showed me how to get to heaven. Granddad showed me chords on his old guitar. Preacher, he sang gospel songs on Sunday. Mama taught me all about rock and roll. I learned to read and write in that old schoolhouse. I learned to drive and shift on an 8-in Ford. Friday night would come around, we'd put a stack of records on. Mama taught me all about rock and roll. She made me dance to Elvis, Little Richard. We cried to every Buddy Holly song. Sometimes Johnny Cash or an old Buck Owens tune. But Mama taught me all about rock and roll. Daddy showed me how to get to heaven. Granddad showed me chords on his old guitar. Preacher, he sang gospel songs on Sunday. But Mama taught me all about rock and roll. I might have given her all of that gray hair, but the songs and the dancing that we shared got way down in my soul. It ain't going nowhere, 'cause Mama taught me all about rock and roll. I learned to read and write that old schoolhouse. I learned to drive and shift on an 8-in Ford. Friday night would come around, we'd put a stack of records on. Mama taught me all about rock and roll. Mama taught me all about rock and roll. Thanks, guys. Hey, we're going to keep on going. Move right along. Maybe, I think I'm going to go back and do a song that I wrote first couple years that I was writing, 90, 96, 97, somewhere in that area. It was just kind of a fun little song and something at the time that I pictured myself doing. I never ended up doing it, but always had this picture in my head. I'd get me an old Volkswagen Bug and surfboard and head to California and not come back. It never happened, but I kind of wrote a song about it. But this is called My Old Bug. Gonna pack up my old Bug with a shiny cooler, tie down an old surfboard from back in the day, radio up and the windows down all the way, not coming back until we're surfing west of LA. My old Bug's been running since back in '69. You can see just a hint of the flowers left on the sides. It's a little faded, but it's still got a little shine. Well, it's okay, but she's a little torn up inside. Gonna pack up my old bug with a shiny cooler, tie down an old surfboard from back in the day. Radio up and the windows down all the way. Not coming back until I'm surfing west of LA. 4 days back, 4 days back, we left to go surfing. Pedal to the floor, no trouble along the way. My old bug's tongue hanging out in the mountains, but it's all downhill till we're surfing west of LA. Gonna pack up my old bug with a shiny cooler, tie down an old surfboard from back in the day. Radio up and the windows down all the way. We're not coming back until we're surfing west of LA. Not coming back until we're surfing west of LA. Thanks, guys. I haven't done that for a while. A couple of those lines got away from me there for a second, but that's all right. It's all part of the fun. I hope you guys are enjoying Garage Bands Live. These guys are doing an amazing job just getting started, and it can only get bigger and better. They've got some very talented musicians lined up, and some that have already been on here. I'm going to kind of move right down the line, and I may throw something in here that you know already, but a little bit different version, I guess my own version of it. So stick around and kick back and relax, and we'll enjoy some music tonight. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when, but I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on. That train just keeps a-rolling on down to San Antone. I was just a baby. My mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. And I hear that whistle blowing, hang my head and cry. I bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car, probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. Well, I knew I had it coming. No, I can't be free. And those people keep a-moving. That's what tortures me. If they freed me from this prison, that railroad train was mine. Bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line, far from Folsom Prison. It's where I'd want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Hey, that felt pretty good. Always been a fan of Johnny Cash. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Got this good music going and up on your big screen, and kick back in your favorite couch, favorite chair with your favorite drink. I'm going to do a short little song I wrote. Probably it's been 5 or 10 years now. This is called "She's a Dancer." She's a dancer on Friday night. She's a lover and a fighter, that's all right. Might be a brunette, she might be a blonde, might be the ginger that you saw me kissing on. In the morning, she takes all her money. She puts every dollar bill to the bank to pay for college and a beat-up car. Someday a doctor, she'll be working on your heart. She's a dancer on Friday night. She's a lover and a fighter, that's all right. Might be a brunette, might be a blonde, might be the ginger that you saw me kissing on. Might be the ginger that you saw me kissing on. Hey, thanks for sticking with us, guys. I'm just going to keep rolling through a few of these songs I wrote. I may have to dig into something I just wrote, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago. I grew up listening to Hank Sr. and Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and everything that people call the good old country. And so I guess it had some influence on me. My grandfather played the guitar and showed me some chords early, and he was a big influence. This is called an old Hank record. Well, I put on an old Hank record, and I sip on pure corn liquor, and I miss Granddad picking on his old guitar. Grew up on the sound of your cheating heart. I play his guitar. Think about that summer, chased by hornets from across the river. I'd do it all again, just keep running to hear him play to an old Hank record. So I put on an old Hank record, and I sip on pure corn liquor. I miss Granddad picking on his old guitar. Grew up on the sound of your cheating heart. Sometimes an old song can keep you sober. Sometimes an old memory can make you drink. I still sip on pure corn liquor, and I still listen to an old Hank record. So I put on an old Hank record, and I sip on pure corn liquor. And I miss Granddad picking on his old guitar. Grew up on the sound of your cheating heart. I play his guitar. Think about that summer, chased by hornets across the river. I'd do it all again. Just keep running to hear him play to an old Hank record, to hear him play to an old Hank record. Hey, thanks, guys. I see quite a few of you are hanging out, and I got a lot of flames on this iPad. That's like concert lighters, you know. I remember those days. Hopefully, one of these days we can get back to going to concerts. You know, I'm sure we will. It's just sometimes it seems like it's never going to end, but I know it's just a small period in our life that we're going through right now, but we'll get through it, and the more music you put in your life and the more garage bands live you watch, it'll help you out. You know, it'll just keep you from climbing the walls or going out back and hurting your neighbor because he's mowing too much of your grass or something like that. So just keep the music going and feel good as much as possible. Wow, what do I pick? I'm gonna do the latest song that I wrote about a month ago. You know, you hear about rock and roll stars and all that, you know, getting involved in drugs and cocaine and carrying on, and somehow this song just showed up, and I wrote it down, you know, pretty quick. But this is called Where Low Is Low. Cocaine brought me down where low is low. Took all my money and friends not long ago. When cocaine brought me down where low is low, I'd steal and lie and cheat, don't you know? And sometimes wake up face down in the frozen snow. Back when cocaine brought me down where low is low. I wrecked a few cars on the way to a sold-out show. Showed up backstage just in time for a little blow. Back when cocaine brought me down where low is low. Cocaine brought me down where low is low. Took all my money and friends not long ago. When cocaine brought me down where low is low. This old guitar, it only knows just what I know about a slamming door and handcuffs on a lonely road. Back when cocaine brought me down where low is low. Cocaine brought me down where low is low. Took all my money and friends not long ago. when cocaine brought me down where low is low. When cocaine brought me down where low is low. I don't really know where the idea came from for that song, but I guess over the years watching all them rock and roll stars talk about all the trouble they got into and how they made it to the next show, you know, might have been where that came from, but one that I like to, you know, on a rainy, cold night sitting around, for some reason it always just comes to my head. A lot of kids know it. Almost everybody knows it. Just a simple little song, but it's fun to sing and it's kind of relaxing, and I'll just play.